Hey, good morning, everybody. It's going to be an amazing Wednesday today, sitting here on August the 8th. And I wanted to share a quick thought with you from Proverbs chapter 8 before I went on a little run here this morning. I was reading, Proverbs 7 kind of personifies the opposite of wisdom as like a seductress, right? In chapter 8, Solomon is writing and kind of has a different perspective. He's contrasting wisdom as a lady and some other things along those. He actually uses a couple different writing things to kind of illustrate what wisdom is and who wisdom is. And I find it interesting in Proverbs chapter 8, starting in verse 22. I'm reading out the message today. It said, God sovereignly made me, the first, the basic. Before he did anything else, I was brought into being a long time ago, well before earth got its start. And if you keep reading on through kind of verse 31, you'll see that Solomon is personifying wisdom as somebody who was there in the very beginning with creation. And if you remember in John chapter 1, the writer John the apostle personifies the Word of God as Jesus, and he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and nothing was created without him, except everything was made through him, and then the Word became flesh and he dwells among us. And so he's writing and personifying the Word of God as Jesus Christ. Well, in Proverbs 8, we're getting Jesus being personified as wisdom. And wisdom is representation of who Jesus is. And so if you read the rest of Proverbs chapter 8, replacing wisdom with Jesus, you begin to see a full picture. And I love it because the Old Testament and the New Testament, all of it points to Jesus. It's all central. He's the central theme and figure and point of the whole entire Bible. It's Jesus Christ. And it goes on at the very end of chapter 8. It says this, that when someone finds me, you find life, real life, to say nothing of God's good pleasure. So in other words, when we find wisdom or when we find Jesus, we find real life. And the verse before it, I think it's verse 34, 35, it says, the blessed man, the blessed woman, the one who listens to me, awake and ready for me each morning, alert and responsive as I start my day's work. In other words, if we can wake up each morning pursuing Jesus, thinking about Jesus, allowing our lives to center around Jesus, we find just joy, fulfillment, and blessing. And so today I hope you find life because you have found Jesus. And reread Proverbs chapter 8 and see and notice the characteristics of Jesus in that chapter. Have a great day, everybody.